Hey everybody, Ty Godwin from SeekingBostonMarathon.com reporting to you live from Denver, Colorado. I've been talking about my run buddy Liam from I Run for Michael and the fact that we're raising money for a racing blade for Liam. And I've got some exciting news. We have fully funded his blade. In today's video blog update, you're going to hear from me talking to Maggie Seymour from RunFreeRun.com and her transcontinental run and how she's going to raise more money for more blades. Tune into the video blog today.
All right, super. So we've got Ty Godwin with SeekingBostonMarathon.com this afternoon chatting with Maggie Seymour from RunFreeRun. And Maggie and I got connected by accident. It's funny how blog worlds sometimes collide. But for those of you who've followed my blog over the last year and a half, I got involved with a young gentleman named Liam who was got hooked up through I Run for Michael. It's an organization that matches up runners with special needs with runners like myself that go out and log a bunch of miles, but it gives you purpose, and I've had just a phenomenal time getting to know Liam. But I borrowed a Team Hoyt racing blade, and Liam got to run his very first 5K at the Carlsbad 5000 just a couple of months ago, and happened to run into Maggie at the race along with Team Hoyt San Diego. After that, Liam's mom, Joan, had such a fantastic time, as did Liam. If you see the video of Liam in Carlsbad, he had this giant smile on his face that just made it so rewarding for myself and for his mom. But she's like, we need to do this again. So we started a fundraise to get Liam his own blade, because we borrowed a blade for that particular race. But then, as kismet, or whatever you want to call it, I think this short conversation we had with Maggie and some of the Team Hoyt San Diego folks, they've graciously helped complete the fundraise for Liam's blade. But I'm getting to know Maggie, and she's got a transcontinental run planned here coming up next month. So this afternoon I want to ask her a few questions about that, and maybe start out, Maggie, with it sounds like you've got dual passions, one for special needs and another with veterans. But tell me a bit about your transcontinental run and what you're hoping to accomplish with that.
Yeah, so I guess if I had like an overall theme or mission, it's really to build communities and get people involved in communities. And the two communities I feel the most a part of, or feel the most that have helped, kind of accepted me, have been the special needs community and the veterans community. So that's kind of the dual populations for that. And I think that there's a lot of things in common with those two groups, and especially when it comes to running. I think running is a great way to work through issues, whether they be physical or mental, or good time to think, good time to kind of be on your own, or running with a special needs athlete to kind of connect to somebody and be a part of a team. So they may seem like two separate communities, but to me they all kind of merge into one, kind of with the same purpose and the same feel for me. So the run is working with existing nonprofits that kind of help further those missions and really try to motivate people to get involved in their local communities or even their national communities.
Right. It sounds like, again, back to my part of the world. Thank you, a million thank yous, because you're again graciously helping fund a blade for Liam. Can you tell me a bit more as you traverse the country? Are you, from what I understand, you're looking to do more of that as you raise funds, or what does that look like as you go coast to coast?
Well, so the start and the end point, San Diego and Virginia Beach, are somewhat symbolic in that nature, and I'm hoping to start with the gift to Liam and then end with, I'm not sure what the end really looks like, but with a gift to a athlete there. There's a chapter of Team Hoyt in Virginia Beach as well, which is where I got started with it. But then along the way, there's chapters of Team Hoyt throughout the country, and there's chapters of Andrew's Angels, which is a sister organization. My sister actually runs one in Central Illinois. So the idea is that we kind of go through and when we can meet people and gift chairs, that's awesome. If it's more of a satellite donation, that's awesome too. And then one of the organizations that works with veterans is the Farmer Veteran Coalition, and so we're hoping to gift some farm equipment to farmers along the route as well, farm veterans. So hopefully we're running across the country like a Johnny Appleseed, and spreading community and giving gifts when we can to help people with whatever they need.
Yeah, I guess that's when we insert the Forrest Gump analogy that all bloggers fall back on, but I won't go there. But I should point out Maggie's also an active duty captain in the Marine Corps, as I understand. So that's probably, I'm sure, the genesis of a lot of her affinity for veterans and their needs. So as you're going across the country, is there a single umbrella charity organization that folks can contribute to, or how do people get involved?
Yeah, so I actually, because the mission, I'm working with a couple different nonprofits, I actually started my own. So the umbrella organization is Run Free, and people can donate to that. Or if people are specifically moved by one of the charities, and maybe they have a soft spot, or they have a passion for Gold Star families or veteran community, you can always earmark that. You can make a donation and say, hey, I want this all to go to a chair, or I want this all to go to a piece of farm equipment, or I want this all to go to one of the communities, and we obviously will respect those wishes. But the nonprofit is named Run Free, and that will cover everything.
Cool. And I may wrap at the end with giving folks how they can get involved or how they can contribute for sure. But maybe some of the more run-centric questions. That's a long run. So I've seen you're also an ultra runner. I've seen where you've done some other similar long runs of 200 miles. But what is the longest race you've run? And I guess then segue into having been training for this mind-blowing notion of running across the country.
Mm-hmm. I guess it depends on the longest distance. The longest distance I've ever run continuously was 100 miles, but I did what's called a death race, which is an adventure race. So I guess if you're going for time, I think that was about 3 days, but it wasn't all running. There was some weird barefoot hiking in there. But last year I did a 4-day, 161-mile memorial run for fallen service women. In honor of the 161 women that have died supporting combat operations since 9/11. So kind of depends on, what do you mean by long? But that was 4 days, about 40 miles each. And I've kind of prepared for this one the same way I prepared for that one. Is obviously long runs are important, but equally important yoga and CrossFit. And I think the biggest thing is just kind of the mental preparation, is just making sure that you have something that will fuel you, throughout the really low periods, which I'm sure there'll be a number of. I mean, you can only prepare physically so much, and just like any new distance, any new adventure, you have to be mentally kind of prepared for it. And
Right. Well, and I guess I'm showing my ignorance because I don't have the crazy DNA bit set in my head to chase ultras.
You never know.
The marathon, you never know. Never say never. The marathon distance is the longest I've gone, and I'm also a triathlete. But by comparison, I'm doing a sprint tomorrow, which is a 5K run. You're going to run across the country. There's a million plans for marathons and plans for ultras and plans for Ironmans, but are there actually plans out there for doing something as long in duration and time as a transcontinental run, or have you done the research for that?
Yeah, so shockingly, a lot of people.
I don't think Hal Higgins got a across the USA plan.
Hey, listen, I think the same principles apply as anything. Is just run when you can, walk when you must. Stop, take a break, or as my mom says, do your best and stop when you're tired. But There isn't. Well, in doing research, and you think about this, and if you're particularly not in the running community, or some people that even are, it's like, oh man, has anyone ever done this before? And the answer is yes, a lot of people have. Some people multiple times. But the thing about people who do this sort of thing, I mean, usually they'll do it for charity, but like you said, it's a weird kind of DNA thing, and those
Right.
people are kind of the free spirits. They're not the people that set out, and write down a training plan. So people have done it, and they've, some people have written blogs and their lessons learned and all that kind of stuff. But just like, the marathon used to be and ultra marathons used to be, it's still kind of a backwoods, I don't know if that's the right word for it, but less publicized. So
Sure.
there's not a market. No one's going to be buying plans to run across the country. But I have talked to some
You're
people who've
special
done
kind
it.
of crazy is what you're saying?
Well, no, I'm saying there are a lot of people that are special kind of crazy, just like this. They just usually aren't in the public eye.
Right.
They are usually just a little bit quieter and not as public. But I had a friend who did it a couple of years ago, and I've spoken to her from day one and kind of gotten her take and her advice, and I've done a little bit of research and read some blogs and stuff, and
Great.
everyone just kind of has a different approach, and yeah,
Cool.
it's out there. You just have to look for it a little bit.
You bet. So on Team Hoyt, because again, that's part of the kismet, the word I used earlier for how we kind of connected by happenstance. How did you get involved with Team Hoyt?
So, and that's another kind of connection between the military and special needs. So I was my instructor for my job school for the Marine Corps. His daughter was special needs. Unfortunately, she passed away last year, and he ran with Team Hoyt Virginia Beach, and then they actually went on to start Ainsley's Angels. So he had sent out some emails and stuff, and then when I got stationed in Virginia Beach and took over his job, I got involved in the chapter there, and it's just been, just one of the most amazing experiences of your life. You just have this amazing group of people that just, come together and just have fun and include people that maybe, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, before Rick and Dick started this whole thing, would have never dreamed that they would be, running a marathon or doing a triathlon, and people coming together to make that possible, which is really cool.
Right. No, we were chatting before we started here. It's my personal experiences. I've had chats with Liam's mom, my athlete, and I always say that it feels like I put in a dollar and get out 20. It's just so rewarding in terms of what little effort's required and how much joy it gives families and these athletes, and like that $1 million smile I saw on Liam's face in the middle of the beachfront in Carlsbad was just made it so worth it. But on the subject of Liam, how that's a pretty important first pick as part of your transcontinental tour. How did you come about deciding Liam would be the first recipient of a racing blade?
Well, we ran into you guys at, no, it actually, I think it was probably a little bit more serendipitous than that, if you believe in that sort of thing, but ran into you guys at Carlsbad with Jim Passman, who started Team Hoyt San Diego, and Jim Passman is, one of the most amazing human beings you'll ever get the pleasure of meeting, but he had mentioned that Liam's family had done a ton of fundraising for Brady's, which is a children's hospital in San Diego, and that they had, you guys, had done the People's Walk, which is a 5K or mile walk at Carlsbad every year, but this was the first year that he was running, and, they were, the family was very excited, but also a little bit nervous, and, Jim was excited and had mentioned that they'd borrowed the chair, and that, then I saw you and saw Liam, and obviously it was a great success. So I just asked Jim, hey, you had mentioned that they'd wanted a chair. Do you think they still do? And kind of he put that together, and it just was perfect because, you have a family here who has done so much and raised millions of dollars for everyone else over the past, 16 years, and just really has done they've done so little for themselves that it just, makes sense. And they're both Navy veterans. Both Joan and her husband are Navy corpsmen. So that kind of puts it all, links in together as well. And it just seemed perfect, I guess. And they seemed, there was a lot of worthy families out there, but here's a family that's just very pure in their intent and very genuine and love their son and want to give their son that gift of running and what that feels like. So.
Yeah, no, great way to describe Liam and his family and their dedication. Yeah, I think it was their 17th year this year, but he'd always walked, and and some years he actually didn't make it because he was in the hospital or on a stretcher. But it's funny. I'll end with a story, and then I want you to share how people can contribute to this great cause. But before the race in Carlsbad, Joan was like, "Well, how fast are you going to run?" And I could tell the nervous mom was coming out, and I'm like, "Well, no, I'll kind of take it at a good pace." But once that gun went off, adrenaline kicked in. I'm like, you know what? I want the I want the wind in his face. At some point, I think there's a megaphone guy that yelled out, "Hey, slow down!" And I'm like, "Hey, this is his first race. I'm gonna open up the carburetors and let him fly." So it was just so amazing. But and again, a million thank yous, and we'll look forward to seeing you in San Diego because I plan to fly out as part of the kickoff ceremony. But maybe if we could close, and again, thank you so much for your time as well. How can folks get involved or contribute if they'd like to help athletes like Liam as part of your transcontinental Run Free Run tour?
Yeah, the easiest way is to go to the website, which is www.runfreerun.com, so RunFreeRun. And on there is all the links to our Twitter, Facebook. It's got a link to donate. It's got a link to sign up for newsletters. It's got a link if you want to get involved along the route, or, maybe if you have a child or a friend or an athlete that maybe could use a gift. All of that is on the website, and by all means, feel free to reach out and just say hi, even if you don't really know how to get involved or whatever. But it's all on the website.
Great. And lastly, I didn't touch on, but are there any other vendors or sponsors or affiliates that you'd want to mention as we wrap? I'm sure a lot of that we can see on your webpage.
Yeah, so I run I run for as well. I have a little girl, Lara, in Jersey, but Honey Stinger, the Caveman Paleo Bars, and then I run a Noon Ambassador as well, and then Ultra Shoes also help sponsor me with some gifts of shoes for the run.
I'm sure you'll go through a few pair.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, super. It's been great chatting with you, Maggie, and we'll look forward to at least logging a couple of miles at the start of your journey, hopefully with Liam in his brand new Blade. Thanks again, and signing off for now.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, cool. That was awesome. You're natural.